doctor, isn't it? Oh, there he is.
Let's get some food in us and then where did you come from?
He didn't come from anywhere. He was literally standing there the whole entire time, and you thought he came out of nowhere.
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
You were gone for ages, and now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
And usually that time involves you answering questions.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname!
I'm pretty sure you've already given someone else an ugly nickname and that didn't work before. Who was it? Arataki Ito? And even then it didn't work.
Never mind. Paimon's got nothing.
Wow, you literally have yourself to blame for that one. Disappointing yourself for being able to come up with an insult in the heat of the moment.
There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy. It makes it so hard.
Yeah, it's like Cartman from the end of Obesity episode where he had that dream where he was skinny and he tried to rip on everybody else for a bunch of names and nobody could call him overweight anymore.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru Village and keep searching for the truth of this matter.
Yes.
Yep. We're not gonna find out. Enough with the silent treatment!
Maybe he's giving us time to think. What, you expect him to talk all the time?
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
Why, you expected us to not team up with him because you wouldn't do it? And if you wouldn't do it, are you still suspicious of him because you're scared of what he might do to you, given that he just did something to at least 3 other people after questioning them after Candace?
ALHAITHAM, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru Village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're all talk.
You gonna help us out now when we really need it?
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
And what did your work involve?
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts.
But you'll inform me that you had work, so that's step number 1.
Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Yeah, well, if it involves Dendroculuses, anything else, like chest or whatnot, that doesn't count.
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
Because you saw people who were going around behind your back.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But, before that, you need to understand where she's coming from.
Oh god, where she's coming from. I don't think we're talking about anybody we've seen recently. Is it Hypatia? God, did she get so high on the incense she almost went mad?
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing?
I don't know. We're invading their privacy. We feel like we might be disturbing the way of life. Some of them are extremists, and they feel like we're shaking things up, and we might be undermining their plans to shake things up, so they feel discomfort, despite some people saying they're not discomforted.
In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
No. I feel like some of them are lying. Maybe some of them are lying. Maybe that guy's wife really was mad, and he's also mad as well.
You mean some of them lied to us?
Yeah. Wait. If the villagers lied, did that little kid lie as well? Because that kid... I can't remember his name. He knew of his real grandfather, yet he still tried to bring us to his fake one, so...
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons.
Actually, omitting the truth is still a lie. You're just like... It's almost like you're lying to yourself by not admitting the reality. Omitting the truth is still a lie.
Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether King Deshret or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them.
So what?
By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village.
And you think there is. So, basically, they don't care about religion, they care about food!
Glad you're following along.
Okay.
Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived.
Her? The one who said if I was mad, I wouldn't do something like that? Interesting she brings up the idea of being mad.
The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictability into the equation.
There are simple people wanting to live a simple life without dealing with religion or academic.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Was she mad? Like, was she one of the mad scholars?
Don't change the subject.
Huh.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars.
Yeah, I did wonder why she said like, she could have known about the Master Scholars. I should have picked up on that part.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
Somehow changing the subject. She wanted to make herself not a target to everybody else around her. It almost reminds me of someone I talk to every now and then, and I think you might know, Patrick.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them, even though they act a little
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
She knows people who would target her. She doesn't want to be a target.
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
She was afraid for her life because she's living next to extremists. Huh.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
So we gotta talk to her.
We're on it!
I'll take the case! You wanna say something to yourself?
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
You discussed this earlier with her.
Mr. ALHAITHAM, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Because we are not Trump supporters. Enough said.
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Yes! How can you prove you're not an extremist? I have a few brain cells to rub together. I've graduated higher learning. I don't believe everything people say unless something obviously sticks out. But even some subtle things they have a hard time picking up.
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
Yes! Show her you're not an extremist.
May I call you Traveler?
Yes!
Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something.
If you're wondering if we're extremists, the answer is no.
Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better?
No!
Why's that?
Because it will result in conflict, and that creates more problems than it solves.
That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you. even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this.
Because you assumed someone like Sino, who's full of courage and authority, would be related to someone who is connected to the extremists, and you thought me standing next to him would bear some sort of guilt by association thing going on.
Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
I don't know, but something tells me I gotta solve whatever problems are in Sumeru to actually make it better, or do something about the extremists so they can stop giving everybody a hard time. I can't promise anything, but I'll do the best I can.
Yeah, we came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation.
We came here from another world. We've gone from one reality to the next. We've gone on a massive adventure. So of course people are going to be suspicious of us. And I'd be suspicious of anyone who isn't suspicious of me.
But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in.
We're outsiders. There's no way we're connected to this stuff.
We have friends in Sumeru, and
I'm scared.
I want to trust you.
But
My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
you're scared of the people around you.
ALHAITHAM told us you have your reason.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret. I don't belong to either side.
I'm sick
Neither
and
side would want me.
oh god, it's like dying and going straight to heaven, but God doesn't want you, and then dying and go straight to hell, and Satan doesn't even want you. It's like, where do you go if either afterlife doesn't want you?
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
I don't think anyone knows whoever is a traitor. It's just that when you're in the mindset of an extremist, anyone could be a traitor. Anyone who disagrees with you. They're just looking for somebody to pin the blame on, so anyone is a scapegoat at this point. And given the fact that she's scared of everyone, she could be the next target simply by being the scapegoat alone.
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives.
Yeah, that's basically what I said.
Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace.
All I want to do is not deal with the god dang political extremists anymore. God, I feel like this game is commenting on something else. This game is politics right here and there.
And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
And then it happened. The minorities whom everyone disbelieved actually did me a favor, but then they were taken away.
You can tell them. I'm sure she'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told ALHAITHAM. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
Where?
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It used to be louder and more frequent. But ever since you arrived in the village...
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night.
Who's crying?
But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
Can you make out where the sounds are coming from?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
Old hospital.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Where's the hospital?
Yeah, let's go!
Does it actually look like a hospital after all this time? Okay! They've been taken, but where? Don't know where. Randomly look in the desert and blindly look for clues.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Empty and forgotten.
Hello.
An
Hi.
ideal place to hide people.
Oh, you're stuck in the corner. That's you stuck in the corner.
A few moments later.
I see it on the map. I keep thinking it's above me, but it's probably not above me.
Monsters, watch out!
Yes, they are here.
Decided by destiny.
Decided because, I don't know, I can't think of a better reason. Come on. Ow. Come on. Keep smacking him harder.
Spring forth. Let me scry. Right now, right here. I'm always watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hyper Bloom. Get electrified, get watered, get bloomed.
Steady as emerge. Right here. Emerge.
Nice. Where's the last one? What is it? Here. Oop. Yeah. Oh, oh god. Oh, damn it. Big boy came out.
Written in the stars. Right here. Right now.
Come on.
I must leave no stone unturned. Time to clean up.
Dip. Big guy. Come out to say hi.
Shadows of fate. Propagate.
Come on.
Emerge. Right. Dear
Dang it.
me. Right here. Germinate. Let me scribe.
Come on.
Decided by destiny. Scatter. Right now. Right here. Emerge. Delve into destiny. Right here.
Come on.
Nothing lasts forever.
Boom.
Shadows of fate.
Come on.
Right now, emerge. Fate is upon you. Spring forth.
Come on, use all the
Right
ultimates.
here, right now, emerge.
Yeah, bloom. Water, shock.
Right here. Let me scry.
Dang it. Oh, dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. The guy down? The guy down.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected.
No. What were you even expecting? The traveler asked this question.
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, you know, something like that.
Have we ever dealt with a monster that was extremely big as a building that dropped out of the sky? I don't know. Maybe. Unless you count, like, stories from, like, Leeway? I don't know. Heh.
Look, super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
Yeah, well, he's always super serious, and I always have my team there, so I got you covered.
This is the one.
What is it? Got a Dendro Vision. You can use that on that. Time to investigate who this mysterious man is. It's the doctor, isn't it? And he's... Yes.
Let's go in and take a look.
Obviously. Carefully search the abandoned hospital.
Hey, ALHAITHAM! We haven't found Squad! Are you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn.
So we gotta wait till nighttime?
Until then,
We gotta wait till nighttime.
I'm taking a break.
Until then, I'm gonna sit here, do nothing, and ignore everything that pops up, including you and everybody else that might want to kill me.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read?
Yes, he did. Of course he did. He brought it before, and he'll bring it again.
What are you reading? Let Paimon see!
He's not gonna share. We gotta wait till...
Okay, sure.
Okay, he actually does respond with the silent treatment.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion, in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh? When free from external influences, every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
I have some idea, but I don't know how to put it into words. And also the idea of Paimon, who is like an everyday person relating to players of the game, trying to figure out what quantum physics is, you might as well get the same reaction.
So, you got that?
No.
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya.
You wanted to be curious, and you were curious, and you got what you wanted, so now what?
How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
You know, it wouldn't kill you to read the book every once in a while. Maybe it's time to spread your wings and become learned. Even though Paimon doesn't have wings.
Hey, what good is that gonna do for you? You're acting like one of those annoying grown-ups who go around nagging people to focus on their studies.
Yeah, well, I literally had to get after Chris because he's not knowing any better, so of course I literally have to get after somebody for being extremely stupid! And honestly, it's not the first time where someone's treating me like a parent and like, okay, Mom!
Hey, what gives? Shouldn't you be the one providing for Paimon?
Isn't that what I'm doing? And honestly, considering the fact that you've tagged along and gotten so much food and done so much, hasn't that already counted already?
Oh, right. Thank you for working so hard and earning so much more. If it weren't for you, Paimon would probably still be floating around in the ocean, so thank you.
There you go. You actually got it. You're welcome after all this time. And so we wait. And so the next mission begins. Where's that crying? And honestly, how could...
Paimon's getting so sleepy.
And honestly, how could anyone hear any crying from this far away?
Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
So it is inside the hospital. But who's our mystery person, as Patrick would say? Is it the doctor, or is it actually someone we know?
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's under. It's the trapdoor beneath.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Just knock the frickin' wood board out of the way!
Something is off about the interior here.
Yeah. There you go. Bling. Mushroom walls?
As I thought. There's a hidden structure.
Yeah. You should have thought of that before entering.
Whoa. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one.
Yeah. Oh god, I feel like this whole thing is a reference to tunnels underneath the hospital. I feel like we're making Gaza reference here. Travelers fought gods, ancient dragons, all sorts of monsters, but Paimon apparently thinks they can't break through a trapdoor.
Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Yes. Yep. What? Hip. Pund. Why did I get knocked back out? Woo? Wait, what's that key? Ancient key. Key stolen by masked weasel. If there's a key, there must be a lock that matches what an abandoned hospital will have to hide. So I have to look for the key. Ooh? Ooh! Ooh? What's this? Investigate the elemental around the hospital.
One eternity later.
From everything else.
Scatter!
Can I not? Uh-oh. Oh, I can, but...
Leave my space! Ha!
Right now.
Okay, scorpions and birds.
As a dutiful maid would, leave it all to me.
Oh god. Smack, smackety, smack. Where's our last one? Get over here, you. And so I killed them all. The end. Okay, yep.
Scatter!
2 of 3. Now, where is the third one? Oh, over there. All of you, get screwed.
Show them. Emerge.
There we go. Got him. Got him. Ah, God, why is this tugging on my hair all the time? Alright, now I can get over here and do this. Cry from the Elazar Hospital. Huh. Maybe I should have been able to open up the lower levels now? Yes. Emergency notice. Patient Abbas, male, 23. Mole on the left side of his forehead, left-handed. While his condition remains serious. Survival will be difficult. Without professional medical care, the patient's survivability, once found, immediately inform. Don't give up. Stay positive. All things are on the watchful. I've advised. Don't never give up. Don't ever give up. The rest of the document is unread, unreadable white weatherings. Huh. This week's meals. Keep a balanced diet, regular, and maintain a good mood. Monday, minty bean soup. Tashin lunch, curry shrimp, pani puri. Dinner. Tuesday. Wednesday, shakshuli bean cake lunch. Remaining sections are blank. Am I gonna have to remember this? Also, it's interesting the days of the week are actually mentioned in Genshin, since time is often relative. Alright. If I have to memorize something, I'll have to come back to this. This week's shifts, when emergency, contact the physician on duty. But given the fact that nobody's been here for an extremely long while, I don't think I need to remember anything. Monday, Abram. Tuesday, redacted. Wednesday, Amudi. Remaining sections are blank. Huh. I wonder. 3 things that are mentioned here. Am I gonna have to I feel like I'm gonna deal with the puzzle.
Look! There's someone over there!
We need to be careful.
Good idea! Let's approach him slowly!
And the incense pots are also here.
Wait.
You notice this person? Is it one of the mad scholars?
You're...
Who is this?
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather.
Was this like the grandfather we're looking for, or...?
Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
I don't know who he is.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holds up in a forest and mumbles stuff about—
No. And that's the problem.
Okay.
Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
So why does it look like he is attempting to go in that direction?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late.
For what?
Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him.
Something tells me we might have to wait for the people who are going to come and pick him up.
There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
Human trafficking?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
I'm wondering the same thing as well.
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos.
Let me guess, the Eremite or the leader that went insane?
Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
From the God knowledge capsule? The God knowledge capsule. The Eremite guy who went mad.
Oh, now that you mention it.
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale.
Why?
First, the academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the academia.
So... it's like the extremists who thought they were going out against the academia, they're actually supporting them?
As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers.
They're being blamed for everything, because they were the ones who acted out.
Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises.
Because some people are willing to believe lies.
Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
If you're ever gonna commit an atrocity, it's like you need somebody else to point the finger to, so you can offload the blame onto somebody else.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too.
Wait, what theory?
But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Maybe someone might know of something? Maybe someone who's related to the Divine Knowledge Capsule might talk? Maybe one of them knows too much?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
It is almost like a minority group.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible.
I really feel like we're going the Elon Musk route at this point. What are we gonna find on one of their brains? Someone knows too much.
Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
How did you learn of this technology?
I'm the Academia's scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects.
And yet they still trust you to walk about?
Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process.
What? He somehow ended up like the Eremite?
Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
He somehow got in touch with the Divine Knowledge Capsule?
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
Maybe. No, it can't be right. Most of the math scholars that make contact with the Divine Force, that's what the Academia is after. It's also safe to assume that knowledge has something to do with the Tui, the Doctor, and the Balladeer. They're using Divine Knowledge Capsules to turn the Balladeer into a guide. So instead of bringing back King Deshret, they're actually building up the Balladeer.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
Everything is a Fatui plot. The Academia needs people who have been exposed to the divine consciousness. And yeah, for some odd reason, they missed this one person here.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge?
What do you seek to know God, or what God knows?
The academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. But what is their ultimate goal?
What is their need to fulfill such a goal? And what has the Fatui promised them that would allow for such a thing to happen in the first place?
I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons
You've
of
seen
knowledge.
their goal.
But I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Yeah, well, who brought them to this progress and why? And my guess is it's the Fatui. But why would the Fatui want them to do this?
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules, whether it be academics or knowledge. Everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed.
Because they're basically making unethical decisions.
This matter needs to be corrected.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Considering the fact that says what we've been doing so far, maybe, unless there's a few exceptions, that does seem to be the plan.
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Your motives are more specific and personal.
You can say that. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
And yet you still have it, but you're not willing to look at it. Though he rejects the notion of greater moral responsibility, he justifies his actions because they are true to his personal motivations. Someone like him might actually make for a better ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right.
Looks like Paimon has finally come up with an insult right at the last second, even if inadvertently.
Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out.
Because you don't want to be normal like every single one of them. And quirky.
Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general.
Now what is our little guest? What do we do with him?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us.
Does he know anything?
We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
If all the people have been rounded up for a sacrificial thing, the real question is, where have they been all taken to?